Well, good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. I am going to try to keep my face centered into this screen. Y'all, please forgive me for yesterday. Oh my goodness, I did not realize it was that off. And I started to re record when I got back from church, but I still got a nice response. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to delete this video and redo it. I just left it the way it was. But I will try to improve on that mistake. I have a tripod. I'm back home with the tripod and too lazy to set the tripod up. Isn't that something? Anyway, today we're working on 273 days for this Bible journey, and we're going to read 2 Samuel, the 18th chapter today. And like I said before, I will be mindful of the camera. Okay. David numbered the men who were with him and set over them commanders of thousands and of hundreds. David sent forth the army, a third under command of Joab, a third under Abishai, son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, and a third under Ittai the Gittite. He told the men, I myself will go out with you also. But the men said, you shall not go out, for if we flee, they will not care about us. If half of us die, they will not care about us. But you are worth 10,000, such as we are. So now is better that you be able to help us from the city. The king said to them, what seems best to you, I will do. So he stood beside the gate, and all the army came out by hundreds and by thousands. The king commanded Joab, Abishai, and Ittai, saying, deal gently for my sake with the young man Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave orders to all the commanders about Absalom. So the army went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was fought in the forest of Ephraim. Absalom's men of Israel were defeated by the servants of David, and there was a great slaughter that day of 20,000 men. For the battle spread over the face of all the country, and the forest devoured more men that day than did the sword. Then Absalom unavoidably met the servants of David. Absalom rode on a mule, and the mule went under the thick boughs of a great oak, and Absalom's head caught fast in a fork of the oak, and the mule under him ran away, leaving him hanging between the heavens and the earth. A certain man saw it and told Joab, behold, I saw Absalom hanging in an oak. May God add a blessing to the reading of that word, the first 10 verses. Here's our Google summary, and this summary is for the whole chapter. This is such an interesting chapter today, and I really didn't want to do the summary halfway. I just wanted to go ahead and get the complete thought out. So here we go. David divides his army, appointing different officers and commanders. He splits the army into thirds, appointing Joab, Abishai, and Ittai the Gittite over each part. David says that he'll go out and fight too, but the people object to this, saying that he's too important, sort of like the king in the game of chess. So David stays behind, but he tells his commanders not to kill Absalom and to deal gently with him if they find him. The battle happens in the forest of Ephraim. David's troops slaughter Absalom's with casualties running up to 20,000 men. The narrator claims that the forest itself ended up killing more people than the sword. Presumptuously, they were tripping over roots, and God fought for David in unusual ways in the forest. So it wasn't just what you call freak accidents, because people will call it freak accidents. But behind the so called freak accidents It was God fighting for David in very unusual ways. And we've read that throughout this Bible challenge, the children of Israel, when they was taking over the promised land and how God fought for them through unusual ways. That's what's happening for David in this forest. 20,000 men being taken out just from unusual stuff in the forest. In the midst of the fighting, Absalom runs into some of David's soldiers while riding on his mule. His long hair gets caught in a tree branch and he is lifted off the mule, stuck in midair. Now, y'all know Absalom is David's estranged son. His son that's starting this battle against his father because he's trying to take over his daddy's throne. He wants to be king of Israel. Okay? But mindful of what David said, remember what David said. He told them if they find Absalom, do not hurt him, do not kill him, handle him with care. The soldiers knew that David did not want them to kill him. Joab comes along and asks them what they're waiting for. One of the soldiers says he wouldn't even kill the king's son for money. So he let him know, even if you were to pay me under the table, I'm not killing the king's son. He told us not to kill him. Joab says that that's ridiculous. Grabs 3 spears and sticks them all at once into Absalom's heart, killing him. His 10 armor bearers also helped strike and kill Absalom. So the man was already dead. The 10 armor bearers also strike and kill Absalom. They also strike him. Okay. Joab recalls the troops and the battle ends. They bury Absalom in a pit in the woods, covering it in stones. A monument Absalom built still remains standing in the King's Valley, says the narrator. Ahimaaz offers to go tell David what's happened, but Joab sends a Cushite instead, saying it wouldn't be appropriate to send Ahimaaz since the king's son died for some reason. But Ahimaaz protests, so Joab lets him run too. David sees 2 runners coming to bring him news. Ahimaaz outruns the Cushite and tells David that they've won the battle. But he says he doesn't know what happened to Absalom. Though he saw some sort of great tumult, which is a lie. When the Cushite appears, he gives David the real scoop, telling him Absalom is dead. May God add a blessing to the reading of this summary today of this lesson we had. Wow. Something to ponder away with. Can you imagine this position that David is in? He has commanded that nobody kill his son. And he learns that his son has indeed been killed. So stay tuned. Finish reading the rest of the verses in this chapter. We ended together at the 10th verse. And I look forward to reading 2 Samuel 19 tomorrow. Be blessed. I love you all. Have a wonderful Monday.